Charlie, thank you. According to the latest Marquette Law School poll, economic concerns remain at the forefront of Americans' minds, but many are not satisfied or happy with how President Trump is handling the economy. The poll shares that Trump's approval rating is at 42%. Breaking it down even further for you here, his approval rating on tariffs is at 37%, while he has a 34% rating on inflation and cost of living. The poll goes on to show that 54% of Americans disapprove of how Donald Trump is handling his second term in office. The rating is unchanged from the last Marquette survey back in March.